anything else, we'll move to our next topic, which is Rod Cummings, transportation update. Rod has returned, still standing.
Still here. Thank you for seeing me again. I'm not real sure what Mike was talking about, but he did say that he thought that you guys could dance better than Band 5. We got that on tape, but Mike.
We're looking for the next big hit.
Next big hit. The thing I'd like to talk about or mention this evening, and I'll be brief, but I'd like to say, and I'm sure you're aware, we had a bus accident on December the 9th, which happened in the Griffithsville area. I should point out to you that there was no students that were on the bus. The bus was returning from his evening run. At least from our perspective and our driver's ability, it was unavoidable, no fault of our driver. The other vehicle crossed the center line and caused a wet roads and speed, and essentially had a head-on collision with the bus. Mr. Puckett was our driver. I need to commend him. He was professional and he was compassionate. He was bruised up quite a bit, and the other driver got out of his vehicle, come to the bus, and realized that he was injured. And so Mr. Puckett took care of him and rendered aid to him until the ambulance got there. And I think he is an example of some of the good employees that we have. Somebody that is compassionate, somebody that we want to be around our children, and I just wanted to mention that about him this evening. And I know a lot of times we don't think about it until these kinds of things happen, but each day when we're on the road, we're just a few feet away from a disaster. And each day we have about 3,691 kids that's coming to school and going home. And since I know this will be in the paper, I want to take time to caution people to be careful during these times when we have students on the roads. It's kind of easy for us to pattern the mornings. We know every morning that our schools start at about the same time. But in the evenings, we've got kids coming and going at all times. Most of our kids ride a bus or ride a car, the parents pick them up at the end of school. But we also have after-school activities. We have our elementary and our grade schools who have after-school tutoring, 21st century, all these different activities. We even have our activity bus, which leaves from the high school, and it's the latest one that we normally have. It leaves the high school about 6:30 most evenings. I've got one that goes to Harts, it goes through West Hamlin up Route 10, usually about 7:15, 7:30, drops off the last kid. And I have one that goes to Midway, up by Griffithsville, up 214. So it's not as easy to pattern in the evenings when we have vehicles on the roads, so we need to be particularly cautious with that. One thing that is kind of alarming to me that I'd like to mention to you so that you understand and realize that each evening at about 5 o'clock, we have nobody at the bus garage, nobody on the radio, nobody here to answer phones. When we have an accident, or if we have another accident, or when we have another accident, or when a child's missing from after school, there's nobody to contact to try to find that person. So something that we need to look at in the future, something that we need to discuss, because I believe it comes down to a safety issue. If in the evenings at 7 o'clock, let's say, the activity bus is going home and it breaks down, and we have no cell service, there's a good chance that they're stuck right where they are until somebody comes along or something happens. So it's just something that we need to ponder. Another issue or another thing that I'd like to mention this evening, the time management system that we've talked about, just so that you're up to speed on that. The 19th, which is Thursday at 1 o'clock, we'll be opening bids for that. I don't know exactly who, but I know that there has been another bid that was submitted, so we have more than one that we can look at and discuss about that. Two in the near future, actually today, I submitted the paperwork to publicsurplus.com for our bus auction that we're getting ready to have. My plan is to get this site set up. We've had to develop logos and write all the agreements with the company. We want to take pictures so that we have it all online. But before we do that, I want to be able to, in this meeting, next month possibly, show you what that site looks like online so that you know what we're dealing with and we can go forward from there. And I think that's about it for this evening. So if you have any other questions?
Just have one,
Sure.
regarding the surplus bus.
Yes.
Now, should someone bid on one of these and get it, then will they be able to drive that bus, or do they have to haul it away? Do you
Well,
have
it
to-
depends on the particular bus. The majority of buses that we have right now will not be able to be driven. They'll have to be hauled off.
Is this noted in your,
Yeah, and on each sheet, we have a specific sheet for each bus that will go on the advertisement along with the picture, and it will be in that advertisement
Tell them
line as well. Yeah.
I'm just curious about that.
Yeah, and then too, you know, as far as finances go, and I was really kind of getting into this next time, but as far as finances go, if you get online and you bid for a bus and you get it, you won't pay us, you actually pay that company. That company in turn collects the money, and then they'll send us a check for it to release it, so that we don't have to deal with that aspect of it. And there's no fee to us for the service. What actually happens is if you sell a bus, they add 10%, 10% to the cost, and it's clearly written in their statement, so that they collect the money that they have to operate this service from the buyer and not from the seller.
Anybody have any questions about that or anything about transportation? Okay, all right, appreciate the update on
Thanks.
on the accident and food for thought on the, maybe being able to communicate in the evening. Thanks a lot.
All right.
Okay.